Reduce your household food waste with Organic Garden. Hi, I'm Michael, the founder and manager of Organic Garden. We are a nonprofit for small-scale food waste composting. In today's video, we'll talk about Bokashi composting and how to set it up at home.
So you probably have heard and seen regular composting before, whether in your garden or on your neighbor's backyards. But how is Bokashi composting any different? Regular composting uses aerobic microorganisms, aerobic meaning to have air, from the soil to break down the food scraps. Bokashi composting, on the other hand, uses anaerobic microorganisms to drive the fermentation process. This composting method requires the setup to be as airtight as possible. There are multiple benefits of choosing Bokashi composting over regular composting. The airtight environment will significantly reduce the foul smell and attraction of bugs in the composting process, both of which are quite typical in regular composting. Moreover, unlike regular composting, which takes months or even years to finish, Bokashi composting typically takes 4 to 6 weeks to break down and convert the food waste into fertilizers under the right circumstances. Ideally, we want to avoid extreme temperature and humidity for our Bokashi compost setup. Bokashi fermentation works best at a temperature slightly above room temperature, from 25 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, or the equivalent of 70 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Temperatures that are way above or below this range will slow down or even halt the Bokashi composting process. Now, let's walk through each step in the composting process. To begin, you will need a Bokashi compost kit, which I will link down below, and food waste. In each compost kit, you can find a bag of Bokashi grain and a compost bucket. And for our food waste today, we have banana, apple, and mango peels, some veggies, coffee grounds, and eggshells. To the very right, we have collected with us a week of food waste in case we can compost more. In each compost bucket, you can find a lid and a divider that separates the solid food waste from the liquid it produces. The liquid is what gives your regular compost pile the foul smell and attracts bugs. The bucket also has a spigot design at the bottom to remove the liquid in the bucket that will slow down the composting process. To begin, we'll have to make sure to place the divider in the bucket. Then, we'll add the food waste to the bucket in smaller quantities and spread them evenly across the bucket. It is also helpful if you can find a scissor to cut down the size of food scraps to increase the speed of composting. Now it is time to add the Bokashi grain. We will open the bag and measure a handful of grain to sprinkle them on the surface of the food scraps. Our goal is to add enough Bokashi grain to cover the outer surface of these food scraps. Once we have done all these for the food scraps in the bucket, we can add more food waste to the bucket. For these newly added food scraps, we'll repeat what we have already done to the food waste at the bottom. We'll sprinkle them with enough Bokashi grain so that it covers their outer surface. If you have any garden tools with you, consider turning the food waste like turning soil. This brings some of the last sprinkled food scraps to the surface so that you can sprinkle them again. To end, we'll put on the lid so that the bucket can stay airtight.
This is everything for today's video on how to set up your Bokashi compost at home. In future videos, we'll show you what to do during and after the composting process. Reduce your household food waste with Organic Garden. I'm Michael. Thank you for watching.